Hello, beautiful friends. This is Erica with Crystal Rose Insights, and I'm here to do a special channeled healing message. This is something that I just felt called to do today because I have had so much of this theme coming up in the last 2 weeks in my private sessions, in my readings, and even in the collective readings. That it's like Spirit saying, like, when are you going to talk about this on the channel, because we're trying to get your attention. And here it is. So I am heeding the call of Spirit to talk about this topic today. And this is going to be a topic around self-honoring and honoring cycles and rhythms and what this really means. Now, you may or may not know, I have a naturopathic background as well as a business background, and I'm doing this work, and a lot of my work has been involved with healing, physical healing, emotional healing, spiritual healing, and so much happens in the body when we neglect those signs and we don't honor ourselves in many different ways. So the reason I'm doing this is because I'm not joking. I just finished a reading that I shut the camera off, and I'm like, I have to do this video because this is a card that I use from the Goddess deck. And it's Maeve. It's Cycles and Rhythms. This card, I'm not joking, has come up, I believe, in every single card reading I've done. Maybe there's one exception where it didn't show up for the last 2 weeks. Those are my private readings, collective readings. Well, it's probably shown up 95% of the time. So there's a reason. And I hadn't seen this card before very much at all, before these last 2 weeks. So there's something happening in the collective. This really is very much for divine feminine energy, whether you're female or male. But we are getting, some of it also is for people who are female, because we're going to be talking about menstrual cycles. So warning if you're squeamish about that. We're going to talk about that. But we're really going to talk about the importance of honoring the rhythms of life and your cycles. And this has been the advice I've been giving my clients for the last 2 weeks. So I wanted to bring it to the channel and explain and do some more, to do a channeled message from Spirit around why this is important, what to do, what else they want you to know about this. So the divine feminine, she is about cycles and flow, and many cultures around the world honor females during their menstrual cycle. You know, there are cultures where the women will go and seclude themselves during the times of their menstrual cycles, and then they're not out in the fields doing what they need to do. They're actually resting. They're honoring. They're being honoring of themselves and of their low energy that they have during their periods. Yet in our society, in our modern society, we are often, it's like go, go, go. We're in the masculine energy. You can't sit on the bed for 2 days because you're tired from your period. You've got to go. And so, whether we're talking about menstrual cycles or just energy cycles in general, this is very, very important. I know for me, with a lot of these waves of downloads and energy upgrades that have been happening this summer, very intense ones, I would say for about the last 2 months, and this has been a journey for me, the last 2 months, there have been days where I literally wake up, I drive my daughter to school, I come back, and I go right back to bed. And, you know, I've had 8 or 9 hours of sleep the night before. I am so worn out, like there's something happening. In the past, I wouldn't have done that. In the past, I would have just been like, I got to get up, I got to do what I got to do, I got to do my work. But this was so overwhelming that I've given myself permission to honor my body, because then what happens, it's like then I have this burst of energy and I get so much done. And so, whereas before I was always with like, I should be doing this, or I'm supposed to be doing this, I shouldn't be taking a nap. How are you lazy sleeping during the day? And I'm grateful that I have a life where I'm able to work from home and have some flexibility to do this. But I've created this life. I've created and manifested this life where I'm able to be self-honoring when I need to. And I have other healer friends who do the same thing. They're like, yep, I went and I took a nap because I was worn out after seeing 3 clients. And it's like, yeah, I totally get it. But so this is what's important for all of us. okay, is that we go through ups and downs. We go through cycles of like feeling well, feeling not well, feeling happy, feeling sad, feeling joyous, feeling angry. And the more that we try to deny the fact that we're cyclical in nature and we're up and we're down, we're flowy, that's the energy of divine feminine, is we're kind of all over the place, right? That's the flow of divine feminine energy. If we resist that flow, we're going to start creating dis-ease, okay? When I was working a lot with clients where they would come to me for physical ailments, like, oh, I've got this disease, or I've got this health condition, or I've got this, injury on my body, very quickly we would discover that there was usually an emotional or spiritual cause underneath the physical ailment. And again, I'm going to teach a lot more about this on the channel moving forward. But all physical diseases, ailments, what we would call health conditions, do start on an energetic level first before they end up manifesting physically. And so it's very important that we don't push ourselves and drive our bodies into the ground. Yes, there are situations where we have to push forward, and that's fine. But if you're able to honor yourself and take care of yourself and just, accept that, what, I'm feeling kind of low today. Sometimes you have to get low in order to come back up. My daughter, when she's spiraling down, she's in a negative place. She's like, Mom, I have to spiral down, because if I don't, it's going to just keep going. And I said, once I get to the bottom, I come back up. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's right. And Abraham Hicks talks about that. They say you have to, once you hit to the bottom, you're going to bounce back up. It's just kind of the rule of it, right? It's a universal principle. But the fact my daughter puts it back at me when I tell her to, hey, come on, stop focusing on the negative. She's like, Mom, I just have to go down so I can come back up. I was like, all right, she's pretty wise. I get it. Okay, let's see what else. We're going to start just continuing to channel some messages here. I don't have notes because this just was something coming up. What else do people need to know about this? And your guidance is divinely guided. This is part of you being a divine being, you being an awakened soul, is realizing that your body is signaling you for a reason. There is a signal coming through your body that if you choose to listen to it, you will be self-honoring and the divine will be supportive of you. If you're ignoring that signal, you're ignoring the divine guidance, okay? And, they're taking me to this idea of I'm so tough, I can handle anything, I know, trust me, I've been there. I've been one of those people that when I'm struggling or I'm sick, it's like there's honor in persevering, but not in the spiritual journey. That's something I've had to unwind. And yeah, I can still draw upon that masculine, move forward, get things done, you can handle anything kind of energy when I need to. But I had to really learn to develop that energy for me of honoring those types of manifestations in my life, because I can tell you from a health perspective, and even from a life and spiritual perspective, if you don't heed guidance, whether it's listening to a small signal from your body, the body will escalate the symptoms more and more until you pay attention. That's just what happens. But it also happens in spiritual lessons too. There's spiritual lessons I've had in my life where I have a chance to learn a lesson and then I don't learn it, or I don't do the healing work around the lesson. And so the next time around, Spirit brings me the same lesson in a much grander way. And then if I don't listen again, it'll bring it again. And then you can look back and go, yeah, I had this opportunity to clear this 3 times ago, and here it is. And it took it to come to this level before I realized that, okay, this is something I need to address, okay? Same thing with the physical body. So let's see what else they want to add in terms of healing here. It's also part of this whole journey of romance and of love. This is also a part of self-love. Because when you are honoring of yourself, others will be honoring of you as well. If you don't honor yourself, how can you expect others to honor you? You know, it's the same thing I said in the video yesterday for Divine Feminine. It's like, if you don't accept your shadow side, how do you expect somebody else to accept it if you don't accept it? It's the same concept. So you being loving of yourself and honoring these rhythms, honoring whether, even if it's an ugly emotion, right? Oh, I don't want to feel resentment, or I don't want to feel pissed off at this person, or I don't want to feel this. It's like, you know, acknowledge it, move through it, feel it, and process it and move on. Okay? Stuffing emotions, again, leads to physical dis-ease. So let's see what else we've got here. I'm going to find out some more messages here. Let's see what what else wants to come through about this honoring of cycles and feminine, and like getting things done when you are energetic, and then resting when you're not. What else does Spirit want to add to this? Magic, yeah. Making a wish, believing in miracles, magic surrounds you. And again, it's coming in under this divinely guided Akasha card here. Because your unique soul imprint of all of your incarnations, all of the lessons that you've learned, is bringing you to learn this lesson in this lifetime right now. Your wisdom, your eternal wisdom. Because what ends up happening is when you start honoring yourself in this capacity in a new way, you are going to experience more things coming your way that you have not expected. Things that experiences, people, random things. And I'm just getting drawn to an example in my own life. And I'm like, should I share that? Should I not share that? So obviously I'm going to share it because they're bringing it to me. But, you know, when this is a little off topic, but it feeds into this, right? So self-honoring is part of you being in your power, Divine Feminine. Being in your feminine power, being clear, being in your channel, being in your light. If you're not honoring yourself, your light is dimmed. And I can't even tell you, like, I have noticed dramatic difference. Simple things like when I go to drop my daughter off at school. I don't know what happened over the summer other than I did a whole lot of healing work, but all of a sudden I'm showing up at the school and there's all these moms that I've seen around campus for all these years we've been at the school. And the next thing you know, their face lights up when they see me. They smile. They're like greeting me like I'm one of their really close friends. And I don't know why. I remember thinking to myself, like, why are they? What? Did I have a long conversation with this person and now we're best friends? Like, but it's been that noticeable. And so this is why this magic card is coming up. Because when you do this, other people will see your light much brighter and they're just drawn to it. They're drawn to someone who's in their light. You just can feel it. And so I feel like this is why they brought me that example, because it's an example of this. And it's true. People will start responding to you differently when you stand fully in your power and in your light. When you're clear. Because you're like a beacon. Yeah, and this indecision energy. Isn't this interesting? That this indecision energy is coming up. It's like, what do I do? When you're feeling undecided, can I honor myself or not? Because this is part of it, is moving through the guilt of doing it. Because there's a difference in the energy. Let's say you're tired one day, like super worn out, exhausted. And yes, there are things you could be doing. Maybe the laundry needs to get done, or maybe you need to take your child somewhere, or maybe you need to be doing something for work, or whatever it is. And you feel so worn out, and then you're in this place of, do I take a nap and listen to, like, honor myself? Or do I trudge forward and break through, even though you can? So it's like, this is not for those situations where you don't have a choice. This is for times where you do have a choice. If you're choosing between honoring yourself or muscling through because you should do something, or it's lazy if you take a nap, right? This is judgment coming in. Here's the advice they're giving right now. When you choose the path of taking that nap, honor it, love it, languish in it, roll, like curl up in your bed in your comfortable comforter and your fluffy pillows and love every freaking minute of it, okay? Don't go take a nap if you're going to sit there and feel guilty and doing your to-do lists in your head and saying, oh, I should be doing this. I'm trying to honor myself, but this is frustrating. Don't do it then, okay? So that's the decision. When you make the decision, be clear and go for it totally. But if you're not sure, don't do it, okay? This is part of building that muscle in you. I'm going to pull another card from this energy deck. What else do they want to add to this conversation? Because that's really important. And I talk about that in some of my health videos, where it's like if you're taking a protocol for, like you have a health condition and you're just deciding what to do and what treatment you want. Yeah, this is about developing spiritual strength. Exactly. And this also they're telling me it also comes back to a lot of the healing of codependency. Being able to receive as well as to self-honor, okay? Those are two pieces that are coming through, and why the strength card came through. I feel like I was in the middle of saying something and then it just flew out. Yeah, just in the indecision, like if you're choosing a protocol, like if you're going to take certain medications or you're going to go a different route or whatever you're doing, just believe wholeheartedly in the route that you want to take. If you're not decided, don't do it. If you're unsure, oh, I don't know if I need to do this, but I think I probably should, but you're not really sure, don't do it until you're sure. That's kind of the theme here coming through about this. So, what I want to just get some final cards here. I don't want this to go too long. Just some final cards here on what kind of blessings and abundance can come when you do this. Okay. So guys, look at the places in your life where you don't self-honor. Again, it can be emotions. It can be physically, whether you're sleeping or eating well or not eating well or all of that. This is asking you to look. So what abundance can come when people actually start doing this? So we're getting sensitivity. They're saying it's a good idea, brilliant idea, clear audience. This is, okay, my guides are so funny. They just are. I mean, they're saying, yeah, super good idea, Erica. This is what they should be doing. This is divinely guided. Follow the guidance that you're hearing. Noticing the guidance that you're hearing or feeling about this. Follow this. So it's like, okay, yeah. Thank you for chiming in with the obvious, Spirit. But, and also the blessing is sensitivity. It says you're extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. That's exactly what this whole topic is about. Cycles and rhythms, honoring the cycles of your body, energy level, and emotions. Honor yourself and your feelings. This is the big lesson, because what comes with that is magic. What comes with that is, self-love, which will eventually move to, fulfilling love partnership with other people. Remember to don't be wishy-washy about it energetically. Be clear. And when you take that nap, shut that door, put a big grin on your face, jump into your bed, and love every freaking minute of it, okay? This is why this is important. Oh, I love that those just came out. That was perfect. And I'm going to end on one more. I do feel one more. Let's see what angel, god, or goddess is going to chime in about this as well. Who wants to speak up about this topic here? What's the one final message you want people to take away from this video and from learning how to honor themselves and their cycles and their rhythms? It says the angel of psychic ability. Your intuitive and psychic abilities are strong at the present. It's going to help continue to develop your intuitive abilities. because you're going to continue to develop more and more sensitivity to knowing and honoring. You know, it's like your body's going to thank you when you honor the guidance that you're getting. The guidance that you're getting from all of your incarnations, from the Akash, all of that. It's like you're going to get heightened more psychic ability by doing this, because it's a dialogue you're having with the divine. And the more that you dialogue with the divine and honor and listen to guidance, because honoring yourself when you're divinely guided to is divine. It's that dialogue. It's happening. And so when you dialogue more and more, you're going to get more and more amazing guidance, and more things are going to start opening up for you in your life. So guys, I hope that this was helpful for you. This was just showing up way too often in my readings to just ignore it. I literally was laughing like, I have to film this right after this reading, because this keeps coming up. So hopefully I'm reaching more people with this message than I've been able to by just doing my readings one-on-one. And yeah, so if you guys, if you want a healing session or a reading from me, information is down below. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, I do over there things that I don't do over here. So follow me over there, Crystal Rose Insights. And again, stay tuned for more of these types of videos that are more about the healing journey, how to navigate through it, really how to awaken and honor oneself to come forward into your full divinity. So guys, until next time, I send you so much love. Bye.